Hello, and welcome to another edition of All or None According to Jack, with your host, Jack Toledano, here on November 30th, 2022. And on a very sad note, we lost uh, another person that is going to that great rock and roll heaven in the sky. Of course, I'm talking about the incomparable Christine McVie of Fleetwood Mac. Uh, it's just so very sad. But basically, and Fleetwood Mac isn't a band that I talk about a lot, but oddly enough, I'm going to bring it up right now. Let's get there. The album Rumors, uh, unbeknownst to a lot of you, this is the first freaking album that I ever bought. I don't know, I guess at the age of 13. So back, it was 1977. Was it 77 or 78? One of those. I had a penny saver out at the time. And penny saver, for those of you who don't know, it's one of those publications that free publications that have a lot of coupons and savings and stuff like that, circulars from local stores and whatnot. And with that money, I actually bought my first album. So we're not counting an album that it was bought for me a few years earlier, a David Cassidy album, but that doesn't count. This counts because I bought it. So so the Long Island newspaper called Newsday, I was reading an article about how Fleetwood Mac is sold at that time, sold 5 or 6 million. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, not only is it a great album, but they've sold that many. I was worried that it was actually going to go out of print, so I better run out and buy a copy, otherwise I'll never see it again. But so I ran out and I bought the album. Great album that it was. But and as a very hormonal, horny 13-year-old teenager, seeing the picture of Stevie Nicks on the cover and on the back and some of the photo spreads that they had, and everybody was attracted to Stevie Nicks, but I guess pretty much everybody gave Christine McVie, didn't really give her a second thought because she wasn't as attractive as Stevie Nicks, but more of a handsome woman, as it were. But great musician, great songwriter. I compiled some statistics, and basically, Christine McVie was on 12 out of the 17 studio albums that Fleetwood Mac put together. And she averaged in the beginning, uh, contributing 2 songs, to the album. For the album's Future Games, Bare Trees, Penguin. Then her contributions kind of ramped up as people were leaving. Danny Kerwin, I believe his name is, left, and it was just basically her and Bob Welch who were doing the main composing and contributing to the albums. 4 songs on Mystery to Me, 4 songs on Heroes Are Hard to Find. So then and again, Fleetwood Mac, a lot of lineup changes. They went from being a blues band in the beginning and slowly, becoming more of a pop rock band. Basically, it was the album Fleetwood Mac. They call it their White Album, but it was known as Fleetwood Mac in 1975. 5 contributions. The first song that I ever heard on the radio that was sung by Christine McVie, a great song, Say You Love Me. Later on, I would come to hear of another song on that album, Over My Head. But then, the album Rumors hit like the freaking Titanic. Great album. Uh, she contributed songs Don't Stop, You Make Love and Fun, Songbird, Oh Daddy, and then contributed 6 songs to the album Tusk, an album that got panned by the critics as being a little too expensive, being overblown. 20 songs, two record set, and not nearly as successful as Rumors. But again, contributed 6 songs. After that, her main contribution, she contributed to the album Mirage, but then 1987, I'd say her last really significant contribution was to the album Tango in the Night, a song that has been playing on and on and on in my head. Another great song. I want to be with you everywhere. Great, great tune. And then, of course, the song Little Lies. At first, I wasn't sure if Christine contributed the song or was it Stevie Nicks, but turns out it was Christine with Stevie just singing some backup vocals. Another great song. But she was definitely at her best, being a band contributor. Not somebody that can write a whole album, but she can steadily contribute 3, 4 songs an album and have them be really good ones. So what else can I say? I wish I had my hardcover version of Rumors, but I have it on both vinyl and CD. And of course, we packed so much shit away in this house. I can't find either one of them, regrettably. So that's why you see the little decal of Fleetwood Mac Rumors covering the speaker hole of the amplifier. But, at the age of 13, I first put the album on, gave it some spins, loved the album immediately. As a 13-year-old, who knew that basically the album was basically made about all of their sexual tensions. So both Lindsey Buckingham and Christine and Stevie Nicks were breaking up at that time. Christine and John McVie were breaking up at that time. Supposedly she was seeing some road manager or somebody connected to the band, on their road tour. She was dating and wrote the song You Make Lovin' Fun. Meanwhile, Stevie wrote the song Dreams about her, breakup with Lindsey Buckingham. I mean, I knew the lyrics at the time. I didn't know what it was about. I got to tell you, if that were me in that band, I could have never put out a great album having women, that I just broke up with in the band. But I guess, what, they took that sexual tension and they put it to good use. And I think the album won a Grammy, and I know it won at the American Music Awards, and beat out my band, which pissed me off. Kiss's Love Gun album, an album that I would later years do an about face and say I didn't really like it as much as some of their other early albums. But anyway, another thing you don't think about way back when, 13, 14-year-old kid and getting into rock and roll for the first time with all these bands. At that time, you don't think that, am I still going to be listening to this music in 40, 45 years? Here it is 40, 45 years later. And, back then you think all these stars are invincible, that they're going to be around forever. And who knew that, 40, 45 years later, this music is still very much ingrained in our culture because, let's face it, this 50-something person, I just don't like much of today's music, and the popular music of today is garbage. I mean, this music still does it for me. But unfortunately, who knew at the time these stars aren't going to be around forever? And I keep hearing people say, "Oh, we lost yet another one, and we're losing too many." Well, let's face it, we're getting on in years, and we're not going to be around forever. So my my theory is, what? Live life one day at a time. Enjoy life one day at a time, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. And who the freak knew Christine McVie was 79 years old? Glory be. I mean, unfreaking believable. But Christine, rest in peace. You were one of the great ones. You were a very steady force in this band, especially in, all the albums in the 70s. You know, you were a rock in that band. And the band put a very nice tribute to you on Instagram today, I believe it was. Was it Instagram? I think so. But in any event, rest in peace. Uh, may you, live in that rock and roll heaven in the sky, and, you know, just look down on us and smile and be grateful, for the joy you brought us all these years. So, this is Jack Toledano speaking for All or Nada according to Jack. Stay tuned for some other fun stuff that I have coming up, and I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.